Hey, man. Murdoch wrong again, man. I tell you what. Man, I'm just sitting here vaping, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to do this review, man, because I've had this device for like 5 days now, and it has completely impressed me. Yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy. Okay, so I don't know if you know me, but I know me, and some people know me, and I've been rocking that steam turbine for years. Years. It's been 5 days since I touched that thing, man. 5 days. I mean, I vaped it off and on, but in the past 2 days, I didn't even touch it at all, man. This is I had completely gone away from it and went to this other device, and that's why I'm doing this video because it got me off of my everyday, right? So like the same with my juices. Like people ask me which one of my juices I like, and there's the ones that I like are the ones that kind of stuck with me. Some of them I was like, yeah, that's good. I can vape it, but they didn't grab a hold of me. And so of course Fluid grabbed a hold of me, uh, and then Maha Ross grabbed a hold of me, and now the glowing street light really grabbed a hold of me. Uh, and that steam turbine, it grabbed a hold of me. It worked. It looked good. It had everything going for it, man. And I vaped it for years. I didn't need to change. I don't have to. I tried other things, and they had their pluses and their minuses, and I bought other things, and I always went back to that steam turbine. Ooh, excuse me. Usually within like half a day, or I would never fully. I mean, I would always bring my steam turbine with me as a backup, and kind of alternate it, and then I would find myself just going back to the turbine, man. So, but anyways, that hasn't happened with this. I've been on day two, man. I had this for about 5 days, and I'm on day two where I have vaped nothing but this thing. I didn't even tell you what this thing is, man. This is the gem from Mark Bugs, man, and it looks good. I like being able to see my juice. Glass tank, coils on the bottom, you know, so it kind of feeds down, which is good. Now, you don't really get a problem with not wicking, but leaking. But the it's got mesh in here though. That's my thing, man. I like mesh. I prefer mesh on anything, man. I don't like the taste of cotton. I don't like the taste of any other wicking stuff really. So I'm pretty much just stuck to on mesh, and that's the way I want it to be. Don't judge me, okay? Just don't judge me. I like mesh. But anyways, so this is it's not overly hard to build. And what I got some triple conundrum in here because I wanted to see what it tastes like out of here. So that's I put that in there. I'm gonna fill it up here in a little bit. But it vapes beautifully. I mean, you get good, and I'm still rocking the mechanical, and I'm kind of getting in. We'll get into that. This might be a long video because I'm kind of excited about this, and I got a lot I want to go over. But I'm not really gonna do a breakdown. Like there's breakdown videos out there. That's not. I'm going overall over my overall impression of the atomizer, man. So, like I said, it's got mesh. You kind of have to make sure you torch everything. You torch your mesh really good. You torch your wire really good. But it's pretty easy to build. I mean, it honestly is. And then everything just kind of screws together, and then you're ready to go. Now, the one thing that I do want to point out about this, and this, I'm a mechanical person. That's the way I am. I've always been. Well, no, I did have running with a couple of DNAs and some billet boxes and some. I did have a Prevaried way back in the day, but for the most part, I'm pretty much just strictly mechanical because it it's a system you can't really mess up. You know, there's only so much that can go wrong with it. But, anyways, again, reviewing the atomizer, not devices. But I wanted to get into that because one thing that I noticed, like I said, it's mesh on the bottom. You have about 3 mil tank in here, and it doesn't leak. I have had no problems with this leaking whatsoever. Now there are, let me think, two instances two instances that this thing has leaked on me. All right? One, it's a given. When you fill it, obviously your little airlock that's in there, you lose, so it's going to kind of dump. So when you fill it, you kind of have to fill it quick, make sure your air, and it's got adjustable airflow, but make sure that that's shut off and just fill it up as quick as you can, put it back on, and you're back in business. You might need to blow out, open your airflow up and blow out that little channel in there in your little chamber where your coil is, and you're good to go, and you won't have any problems with it leaking. Now the other time that I had a problem with it leaking was when I had forgotten to lock this thing, and I put it in my pocket, and it was firing. And I don't know how long it was firing, but it was firing. When I pulled it out of my pocket, I was like, oh, that's kind of warm. It was warm, not hot, right? It was warm, not hot. And I was like, oh, and it wasn't the battery. It was just the atomizer section. I was like, oh, it felt like I had been vaping. And I was like, oh, well, that's not good. And then I looked, and there was juice just pouring out, basically. I mean, it was coming out bad, and it was worse than it ever had been when it like leaks when you fill. I mean, mostly at the time it doesn't even leak much. It just kind of builds up in here, and you just kind of got to blow it out. But yeah, it was just pouring out, and I was like, oh man. But then what did I do? I immediately went to taste it, and it had obviously a gurgle to it because it was flooded. But I vaped on it, and it didn't have that hot mesh taste that you get, like if you accidentally leave on like if I left my steam turbine on and the coils got red hot and then the mesh got red hot, it would have that weird taste and it'd have that off taste for a little while until it kind of worked itself out. It didn't have that whatsoever. Yet to have it. All right. So leaking, man, this thing's banging up, man. It doesn't leak. I have no problems with this ever leaking. The other thing, hot spots, man. No hot spots. You torch your stuff really good, get the hot spots out, and yeah, I mean it's not. Now with wicking, I haven't had any problems with it wicking. I did notice one thing, and which is kind of, I can understand how this would be good on a regulated device. And I've got a couple of regulated devices that I put it on, and I do like it on that. But it's really interesting because when I have a fresh battery in here and I go to hit it, it seems to want to tend to over wick. When the battery dies out and gets on that lower spectrum of your levels in your battery, it actually stops wicking as good, and it's crazy. So I can understand how a regulated device would be useful with this atomizer and this setup, because you can kind of dial in and keep yourself within that window. So yeah, it's what it is. But now, the cool thing that I like about this, the flavor, bang up, man. There's like really no air chamber, so you get amazing flavor. And that's what I'm about, man. I'm about that flavor. I don't care about clouds. Which this thing does put out some good clouds for what it is. That flavor, man. I can't stop hitting this, and I'm burning through tanks like crazy. Anyways, I'm gonna fill this thing up. I wanted to show you basically how it fills up. It's really easy and it's really cool. But close that airflow to kind of keep it from draining out too much, and you basically just unscrew this top. Now, this is the main problem. Not main problem. It's not really a problem. It's just a cosmetic thing. I love how the thing looks, but I'm not fond of tops that are just kind of straight off, man. Personal preference. That's just me. Take it for what it is. I mean, I'm still saying this is a great thing. That's just a personal preference, and I'm overlooking it, so it's not really that big of a deal. I don't even know why I brought it up. I don't know either, man. Anyways, to fill this thing, we just kind of unscrew this thing, set it aside, and look at that. I just take my bottle. Now, I don't even need a syringe now. I just scoop it up, put it in this little thing, and I go boop. Really fast, really easy, not messy, in the slightest bit. Like I said, it holds about 3 mils. You could do this with a syringe. You could do this with a unicorn bottle. Or you could do this with anything that really has a nozzle that can kind of just butt up in there. And the cool thing about it is, up on top, it's got little O-rings there. I don't want that dripping on my thing down there. But it's got little O-rings right there. Now what that does, when you screw this back on, it kind of sandwiches it down so it locks that tank closed. And that's that. That's filling it. Yeah, I didn't have to get a syringe, and I don't have to look like a junkie. And the other thing with them O-rings in there, I found out, it's really good because this dripper is just slightly bigger than the hole, but I can kind of just put it on that O-ring, and it makes a good seal that I can just, and you saw me just really quick, really easy. Now, like I said, I'm going to open this airflow, and I'm going to vape, and it's probably going to be a little bit gurgly. Yeah. Now, the weird thing is you can either vape through that. I mean, you can kind of, but you can vape through it, or you can just tilt it upside down, get you a paper towel or something, put right there, and just blow through that air hole. And that'll take care of that easy. Anyways, man, I was even not even paying attention to how long this video was. It's already at 11 minutes. I'm going to cut it off. But like I said, I don't know if I'm going to post this video. I might do like 15 others and see which ones. Why did I even say that? I don't even know. But whatever, man. That's what I do. I do raw and edited reviews. And if I mess up, I just start over. Or either I just say that's what you're going to get. Because that's how I review things. And sometimes they're long. Most of the time they're long. Sometimes people don't want to watch them. I don't really care. This is an amazing product. I approve this. I can honestly say, I can say that I approve the Steep Turbine too, because I've been rocking that for a while. But this, really digging it. Anyways, man, this Murdoch Roma got, I don't know what to call this guy yet. I haven't came up with a name for him yet, but I really like him. He's one of my shifters. And look, I like, you can kind of get a good grip on there, you know? And then just like an octopus on his face. That's what I do. Anyways, it's Murdoch Roma, man. You guys have a good day.